Since then, my relationship with Ava has gotten better. But I know that I can't carry her with me the whole life. I've already become like this, barely supporting myself at a poker room. How can I afford to raise a child? What should I do if Chloe really doesn't come back? Ava is still small now. What if she gets older? How to go to school? How to live? Living in this crappy poker room like me? Therefore, even though I have become much closer to her during this time, I cannot really be her father. It would be okay if Chloe comes back, but if she doesn't, she will still have to be sent to an orphanage. Today, Mrs. Lee's small restaurant next door changed its location and left all the things that were inconvenient to take away or worthless to me. I also helped them move their things for a day, and I was very tired. After making a meal for Ava, she went to bed and fell asleep in a short while. But I didn't sleep very soundly, and I could always hear the sound of "ba" and "ba." I reluctantly opened my eyes and said, "Ava, what are you playing at?" After saying this, I broke out in cold sweat all over my body. Ava was playing with the long pole lighter that Mrs. Lee didn't want. "Ava, don't play with fire." I shouted loudly. Ava looked back at me, but the fire in her hand was not turned off, so Ava lit the posters on the wall. Watching the flames roaring upward, my whole body was shaking. The falling ashes ignited tablecloths and curtains. After a while, there were several fire spots. "Ava! Ava, come back! Come back now!" Ava was also frightened and ran into my arms. Sweat dripped down my face in big drops, and it seemed like I couldn't turn my head. I felt dizzy, looking around, and started to have trouble breathing. I took out my cell phone tremblingly and wanted to call the police. But I couldn't hold it steady and slipped. The phone fell directly next to the fire. I didn't dare to pick it up even though it was still some distance away from the fire. "Ava, don't you go out first, get out quickly." Ava didn't leave, she just held me and cried. "No, I won't let her die with me." I hugged Ava and got out of bed. As soon as my feet touched the ground, it felt like stepping on cotton. My whole legs were soft and I collapsed all of a sudden. "Dad, what's wrong with you? Get up." My heart was beating loudly, as if it was about to burst out of my throat, and the scene in front of me changed. It was not my little poker room at all. It was surrounded by fire and fire. I was standing alone in the fire scene. I could feel the heat and pain of the fire burning my body, but I couldn't move, not even a finger. I don't know how I got out. Later, I heard from others that a kind person heard Ava's cries, so he used a fire axe to open the door and rescued the two of us. The fire did not expand and was extinguished by the surrounding people. Those kind people left after making sure Ava and I were not injured. And I was still immersed in fear and didn't even have time to thank them. Yes, I'm afraid of fire. I have post-traumatic stress disorder, also called PTSD, which is something I have been dealing with. I have severe PTSD, which is treatable, but I have no money. Ava next to me pulled the corner of my clothes, and I trembled subconsciously. "Dad, it's all my fault," she cried aggrievedly. I held Ava in my arms. "I don't blame you, I don't blame you. Don't play with fire again. It can be considered that this cute little girl saved my life. If she hadn't been crying desperately in the room, I would have been burned to death inside." After experiencing the fire incident, I thought this through. Regardless of whether Chloe comes back or not, I have to send her away. I don't have the ability to take care of her, at least not now. If a few more things like this happen, the child will be in trouble. How will I explain it to Chloe? But every time I look at Ava's cute and childish face and hear her calling me daddy chirping, I feel a little unbearable. I will pay more attention to Ava, so as not to let the child have problems in my hands until she is sent away. I looked at the food in the supermarket and thought about whether I should buy some more meat for Ava to supplement her health. After all, this is the time when the child is growing. Someone patted me on the back. "John?" When I turned around, I was stunned for a moment. "Amelia?" Amelia was my high school classmate. To put it shamelessly, we had some good feelings for each other at that time. It's just that our universities are too far away and we gradually lost contact. I didn't expect to see her here. What a coincidence. I nodded. What a coincidence. We haven't seen each other for almost 10 years. Yeah, what are you busy with now? I scratched my head in embarrassment. Nothing. I opened a small shop by myself. What about you? I just came back from Washington, D.C. There was too much pressure there. I want to come here to see if I can find any opportunities. I felt a little embarrassed for a while and didn't know what to talk about next. Then, I will see you around? Right. The moment we crossed each other, we turned back and asked at the same time. Why don't you add my WhatsApp? Both of us looked at each other and smiled. I'll add your phone number. I smiled and turned on the screen. We're pretty much on the same page. By the way, are you busy tonight? How about having dinner together? Okay. During dinner in the evening, both of us were really happy. We talked about the memories of high school and complained to each other about the troubles we encountered after separation. Before I knew it, it was already past 10 o'clock. I patted my forehead and suddenly remembered that Ava was still at home and hadn't eaten. I'm sorry, I need to go now. I was so excited to talk with you and forgot the time. I have to go back now. Okay, text me later. When I got home, Ava was sleeping on the bed like a pile of fat. Dad, I'm going to starve to death. I bought you some food. I got something to do tonight and got back late. Ava wolfed down her food and sniffed. What? The food doesn't taste good? No, you smell good. Smell? What smell? Perfume. I patted her on the back of the head and told her to eat quickly. This child has a really good nose. In the next few nights, I chatted with Amelia all the time, smiling like a child. I didn't pay much attention to Ava no matter how annoying she was. At the same time, Amelia and I have been meeting each other more and more, and I finally plucked up the courage to confess to her that I wanted to continue our relationship in high school. After receiving her agreement and shy expression, I was as happy as a child than Ava. Ava, I still have some work tonight, so I might come back a little late. Can you be good at home? Dad, what time will you be back? Soon, the food is on the table. You can have it if you are hungry and go to bed first if you are sleepy, alright? You don't have to wait for me. I brought Amelia a flower tonight. She was very happy and murmured, I heard from Ben that you are here. I was thinking about if I can see you here, that would be destiny. And if we can see each other, we will be together. I was very moved after hearing her words. Amelia, it's so nice to see you. Still call me Amelia? What should I call you? Dad. I was stunned, and when I looked in the direction where the voice came from, I saw Ava running towards our table with a smile. Amelia, Amelia, please listen to me. I grabbed Amelia's hand while she was running to the door and tried to leave. What do you want? She's really not my child. No, I'm really not her father. It's just a friend who left the child here for me to take care of. Humph. She looked disbelieving. Really, if I already have a child, how could I still confess to you? I swear, if she is my child, I will be yours. Dad. I kicked Ava out. Why are you everywhere? Did you follow me all day long? Are you sent by God to punish me? Amelia didn't continue to struggle with me, walked to Ava's side, squatted down. Kid, let me ask you, what is the relationship between that man and you? He's my dad. Amelia glanced at me and said, it's not good for a child to lie. He is not your father. He is my dad, he is my dad, he is my dad. Ava cried and pushed Amelia forward. Ava! Don't push her. I ran over quickly. Amelia, are you okay? Pa. A clear slap in my face and my soul left my body for a second. Don't you hit my daddy? Ava came over and pushed Amelia. You ugly woman, you are not as pretty as my mother. Mom didn't ever hit Dad for once, how dare you? Amelia was pointing with her finger at Ava and then at me. Tears suddenly fell down. She shook her hand angrily and left. Ava stood on the road, holding her waist, as if she was a female general who had won a battle. Dad, she will never. I told you I'm not your dad. I roared angrily, get out. Go find your damn mom. I'm not your dad. Leave. What sin did I commit in my previous life to meet you in this life? My parents came to see me and you made them angry. I finally got into a relationship and you messed it up. You know what? The last time I met my mom was 5 years ago. I don't know if I said these to her or to myself, and I also wanted to squat on the ground and cry. But I knew I couldn't cry, because Ava will cry louder than me. After we got home, Ava stopped crying, and I didn't want to talk to her either. I turned off the lights and got in bed and slept. She could do whatever she wanted. I don't even know when I fell asleep and was woken up by a gust of cold wind. Ava was not by my side. Ava, where are you? No one answered. Ava. I called again, but no one spoke. I turned on the light and saw that the door was open and the cold wind was pouring into the house. Ava has left. I was like crazy, looking for Ava on the street. It's almost 12 o'clock, where else can this kid go? I asked the neighbors around, but they all said they hadn't seen it. I went to places where Ava could be, but still couldn't find her either. Ava. Ava, Dad is wrong. Can you please go home and let me apologize to you? Ava, come out. Dad is wrong. I should have never yelled at you. I was looking for her from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning, but still couldn't find her. The wind is so strong tonight. Strong enough to give people a headache, and the sound couldn't travel far. My palms are covered in cold sweat, and my mind is full of Ava. Will she be dangerous? Will she be scratched by cars? Or kidnapped by some kind of trafficker? It's all my fault. It's all my damn fault. I slapped myself hard twice. I was really tired from walking, so I sat at the intersection and smoked a few cigarettes. After a while, I tried to stand up and continued looking. Ding ling ling. I answered the phone immediately. Ava is with me. I am doing this channel all by myself. If you enjoy this story and want more awesome content like this, don't forget to like, comment, share and hit the subscribe button. I will see you soon.